Hey, what's going on, everybody? Here, this is your boy King Gabe in the house, and we are here with another history video on another of the plush toys that are going to be featured in Yumiko. So, without further ado, say hello to Dashtail. Yep, Dashtail the squirrel, or should I say his full name, Dashtail Evens. Sort of kind of make me think of when they said Adam Evans on an episode of Static Shock there. So, yep, Dashtail Evans. He even got a little acorn attached to one of his paws there. Say, bushy tail and everything. And also, yep, under here, he is a puppet. Yep, he was got this one from Barnes and Noble. So yeah, you stick hand up in there, and you get the little movement and everything. Yay! Hey, what's up, my Dashtail? And I'm moving my mouth down. So yeah, you got that going there. So, yep. Ironic because let's see, maybe put him on this hand. Let me put him on on my other hand. And also he's known as a folkman puppet. I remember hearing about this. I think it was it's a certain brand of puppets. I remember hearing from gotta say reviewer named Bob Shaw that he had mentioned about this brand of puppets that I think he's a fan of there. Because when he was reviewing the movie called The Oogie-Luz, and said that some of their puppets were being used in that movie. So this is where this comes from here, the Folkman puppets. Yeah. Probably better on my right hand too, because I'm right-handed. So the thing with getting Dashtail, he's like I mentioned, he's gonna be a part of the series there. Unlike Brownie and Emily, he's doesn't have a previous body like Brownie and Emily did there. Where I showed you what Brownie's whole body looked like. Emily had one, but but hers is not present. But she did have a past version of herself there. Now, Dashtail actually was recently gotten there. However, Dashtail has been in some of my ideals before. We're about to go into that there before getting to here in Yumiko. So, let's dive into that little history there. What's ironic about the fact of him being a puppet also is the fact, as I think I may have mentioned in my History of Emily video, that may have been just a previous video in general, that I did have. It was Emily video, because I mentioned about how I made the Landagos into like little string puppets, had some strings attached to them, sort of like marionettes, that kind of style puppet. But I actually did get hand puppets at one point, which like I say, one was first hand puppet I got was a crocodile. Then there was a hand puppet that my mom actually had around the house that she had found in some of her old stuff, and allowed me to play with it there in a video. I don't know if I still have the video, because I've done so much recording over the years, so ain't no telling. But I did play with it at one point. So much like those hand puppets, I got this one. So starting from the beginning, well, his Dashtail's beginning actually starts. I guess if I were to say that maybe there was somewhat of a previous body, it wasn't Dashtail, it was a plush toy named Jack, or Jack Armstrong, which was a little white puppy dog. You know how we sometimes say puppy dog? Well, a white puppy or a white dog. Anyway, he was a white puppy plush, um, similar to Brownie's old body, but like I say, he was white and had brown ears. And in a way, what Dashtail is right now is sort of what Jack was back then. And much like Brownie and Emily's old bodies, we no longer have Jack. Jack was also a part of, sort of, with the other plush toys back in the day. No, that I had, from elementary and middle school, being in certain things and just sort of tagging along with everybody. So we get over to high school. Before, like I said, I got Dash till I want to say I got him probably around the same time I got Brownie's new body from Build-A-Bear, and I got him at Barnes and Noble. So Dashtail actually was an ideal a while back when my sister Casey and I were doing our role play, especially back in high school a lot. One of the things that we role played that wasn't an anime, it was actually a live action. There was a few live action role plays that we did, depending on what we were watching and stuff. And one of them was a show called Monk. I had not really watched a lot of Monk, but she had though, and it was sometime like say when a few times she would want to do that, so I was like okay. So thing with that, it was sort of those of y'all that's watch Monk, OCD detective, obsessive compulsive disorder. So in the role plays, she would imagine herself as Monk's cousin, Juliet. That's actually where the because for a lot of her role plays, she would there was some other names she used too, but she used Julie for a lot of the different role plays, mostly in Yu-Gi-Oh, of course. But in this one, she went by Juliet. Kinda where Zayton in the comics was like my little Juliet. So yeah, kind of a small reference to that role play. So with that, it was her. I think my name in the role play was Derek, and there was another friend of hers. I think she may have been her cousin, her cousin or best friend of hers. That she sort of added in there, sort of like I guess you could say That's So Raven kind of effect. You know how you got Raven, Chelsea, and Eddie kind of vibe if they were detectives there. So it was the three of us, and there was one other character I wanted to add to the role play, which was a talking squirrel, and I named the squirrel Dashtail in the role plays. So that was the first time I came up with Dashtail. So, thing was, in the role plays, not much I remember about them, because like I said, I didn't really watch the series much, so basically it was pretty much going along with what she came up with when we would role play, because she knew more about the show. What I imagine Dashtail having the voice of Eddie Murphy in those role plays, sort of like when Eddie Murphy played Donkey in Shrek. Hey, can I say something to you? You were really something back there. You're incredible, even. Yes, I was talking to you, and they say all them gone. They thought they boom, bam, bam, bam. They thought they had everything, and you tell they skin like babes in the woods. Yeah, sort of like that kind of. So yeah, kind of had. It's like, yeah, imagine you meet a squirrel in real life, and the squirrel just starts talking to you. It sounds like Eddie Murphy, I guess some people might react the way he did in Dr. Doolittle. Stop talking to me! and throw that in there. So yeah, so there was that. And then there was another thing I imagined Dashtail in. He was sort of a side character in this one. I imagine, which he was a side character in the Monk role plays. Well, I'm just saying. at least, yeah. Well, At least you got a bigger role in Yumiko. So so anyway, yeah. And the other thing I imagined Dashtail in was Power Rangers Kroger Force that I came up with. Which there's videos about that on my Miracle Comics channel. So yeah, if y'all want to know more about that, yeah, definitely go to the Miracle Comics channel. Look under my old stories playlist and bring that up there. Yeah, if y'all want to see into that. But it wasn't much though. It was basically in one episode of version 2 of Kroger Force that yeah, Dashtail just made a small appearance with Brownie. Yeah, so however, there was another idea Dashtail appeared in, which also is going to relate with the with Yumiko as well. There was a superhero called the Squirrel Avenger, who was pretty much back then was made to be an animal version of Star Striker. And when I say animal version, I don't mean like Star Striker turned into an actual squirrel. What I mean by that is animal theme, sort of like how Bruce Wayne dons the guise of Batman. In this case, it was a boy named Merrick who what happened to him? He was I think either abandoned as a baby or some kind of way he was left out in the woods and stuff where there were squirrels, sort of like a Tarzan type of scenario. Except, like I say, when he was left out there, some squirrels came and decided to raise him, and he grew up and became what was known as the Squirrel Avenger. There were other ways I tried to write to actually think of that idea once, but yeah, that was pretty much the main concept, was that he was raised by squirrels, and that's how, yeah, because he had like knew how to, pretty much function like a squirrel does. A squirrel when you come up they yeah, how they sort of move and everything. So yeah, pretty much like that. And Dashtail was supposed to be one of the squirrels that actually was sort of like a sidekick to Squirrel Avenger. So yeah, it was a Squirrel Avenger and Dashtail. They're sort of like you said before, like Batman and Robin, or the Falcon and what's his name, that red that little bird he had, Red Wing, yeah, which they made into a drone in the MCU. So his name is Red Wing. I'm not thinking that thing. Come on, he's cute now. So yeah, it's pretty much like that. Not much else on that, and I'm not really, and I don't really, as far as the way I came up with Squirrel Avenger, like the whole raising the wild thing, yeah. For me personally, not exactly. I'm not exactly. Not exactly sure I would do that concept, the whole raised out in the woods thing. I know, like I say, we've got Tarzan and George of the Jungle and stuff like that, all in fantasy, but there's always that little, when you, as a kid, you probably don't think about this kind of thing when you see these type of, when you see stories like this, the whole man in the jungle type of thing. But there's always this thing in the back of your head when you look back on it as adults. How on earth would they know to put on any type of clothing if they're raised by animals? Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I know, like I say, with Tarzan stuff, it's kids movie, they just do. But yeah, that is, but if you would have real, and I know what I'm coming up with is fantasy too, but yeah, it just me personally, that, looking back on that, just kind of, yeah, I just couldn't find myself writing that, because that that little concept sort of detail kind of bugged me a lot there. Yeah, how do they know that if they raised by animals that they supposed to wear clothes? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna. That's all as far as I'm gonna go with that there. As one of my old pastors said, before I went at the church before I went to Brookwood, say you'll get that when you get home. Say, let me move on now. Say, yeah. So yeah, you had that Squirrel Avenger and Dashtail, kid in the wild with squirrel abilities. So there was that and Kroger Force. Now moving on to the Heroes of Dream series, and I do plan to, and I probably mentioned before, but I'll mention again. At some point, I do plan to make some videos talking about the Heroes of Dream books, the first books that I've ever written there. I do plan to talk about them at some point there. Like I say, there's other things I want to, go through before I get to there. So yeah, might be a while, but I do plan to do those. So with in Heroes of Dreams, I had wrote like 5 books introducing Star Striker. Each book introduced a different hero. It was Star Striker, Target, Sword Girl, Bubblina, who now is in her own series, thanks to my wife there, and the Phantom X. And then the 6th book was pretty much supposed to be like them assembling a team called the Dream League for the first time, taking down a major baddie together, 5 of them, sort of, which, like I say, that's probably another concept that'll come later in Yamiko, the whole Dream League thing. So, with the 7th book, when I was in the middle of writing book number 6, there was a kid I had that actually reached out with his I think it was his mother. His mother helped him get in contact with me because they had seen some of my previous 5 books. I was, like I said, I was in the middle of writing the 6 Heroes of Dream books, but they had seen my 5th book, and they got in contact with me, and I'm just gonna say the kid's name was Riley. I'm not gonna say not gonna say their last name, but his name was Riley because his name is mentioned in the book as the character, but I think I gave him a different last name in the book. He just went, but his first name was the same. So yeah, Riley actually wanted to be in one of the books coming up there. He liked what he saw in there. So after I finished the 6th book, that's when I just brought him as a character into the book, along with his sister. I'm gonna go by the name that I gave her in the books, Zoe. And what happened? The two of them were now a part of the books, starting with the 7th book. And what happened in the 7th book? He ended up, Riley was hanging out with Brian, who's also Target, and another kid named Bruno, and the 3 of them had went into the woods and saw some scientists and stuff capturing some of the animals for testing and stuff, which included squirrels. There was a type of squirrel called a red squirrel. Now that actually exists. Red squirrels actually do exist. I don't know if they've been seen very often, but they do exist. I actually looked this up. I'm guessing they're kind of rare. So they decided to try to stop these guys from capturing the animals, and Riley gets hurt in the process, and he gets injured and wounded, and there was some type of what they call splicing serum that he fell in, and he was taken to the hospital and everything. But then the next day, he had mysteriously vanished. Turns out the reason why is because, I guess when nobody was in the room, apparently, some kind of way, a bunch of squirrels that came in and got a hold of Riley, took him to their lair, and the reason why they took Riley is because they follow like the paramedics and stuff that were taking Riley to the hospital to make sure that he stayed safe after he had saved them and the other animals. And so they was about to, like, okay, he seems safe here, but then they noticed that Riley's scent changed because while nobody was looking, Riley had because the splicing serum that had seeped into his wounds, Riley had become a squirrel. so the squirrel, that's why the squirrels took him to their, did everything. So now you got Riley as a 8-year-old, the height of like an actual 8-year-old kid, but a squirrel there. Yeah. And so they so the other squirrels, they asked for Riley's help, help keep the protector from if he could, well, not just him, but also if he could reach out to the Dream League to further protect them against more if like any more of those scientists showed up in the woods and stuff. So Riley agreed that he would help them out. Actually saves them from some robot animals that try to attack them. Manages to make it to the school where the Dream League, when they're in their civilian form, where they attended. Because of Riley being in squirrel form and having a sense of smell, like most animals, like squirrels and most other animals, he was able to figure out who the Dream League was. And just as he found one of them, which was Brian, suddenly those robot animals had tracked him down to the school. Everybody ran in a panic, of course, and so of course Samuel, Julie, with the ones that Samuel, who is Star Striker, Brian is Target, Julie Yukashi, Sword Girl. Bubblina's civilian name was Melody Scott in the Heroes of Dream series. However, it's different in what Christina has wrote. Pretty sure one day she'll probably talk about that there when she sits down to get some thoughts together for how she's gonna write a Bubblina novel. Melody Scott was her name in the Heroes of Dream series for Bubblina, and Calvin Wayne for Bantam X. 5 of them transform into their hero forms, and of course the only ones that actually witness this transformation, besides Riley, is his sister Zoe and Bruno. So yeah, they found out their secret identities. They find out that Riley has become this talking squirrel. Then the Dream League's guardian angel Yiro, which that's going to be a character that'll show up some point in Yumiko, but like I said, there'll be a little bit more to him than what's in Heroes of Dreams. You'll find out. So anyway, the guardian angel Yiro helps revert Riley back to his normal human form, but he does get to keep some superpowers, which is super speed, and the different senses that he had as a squirrel, like the whole super smell and stuff like that there, and even gets what the other Dream League members have, hero transformation watches, where he could transform into a costume of his choice, and this is what makes Riley become Dashtail. So yes, so Dashtail went from being in Heroes of Dream. Dashtail was not a talking squirrel, but he was a kid who had donned the name as his superhero persona. Yep, because of being a super speedster in a squirrel costume. Yeah, so that's how Dashtail came about in the Heroes of Dream series. But he did have a personal squirrel buddy with him, much like the Squirrel Avenger did, which he just named the little squirrel Billy. Yeah. Would have been nice if I went by the Squirrel Avenger name, but it didn't. I guess that it didn't quite match the backstory there, because Squirrel Avenger kind of didn't really sound right for this version of the character. However, though, After Heroes a Dream, so there'll be more about that when I actually read to those books. In later adventures, okay, so then of course had the Star Tucker comic books. Then Bubblina got her comic series. Then there was Brown Chronicles, of course, and now Yumiko. With Yumiko, Dashtail, just like he is right now, is of course a squirrel again. But he's also an anthropomorphic squirrel, which he is best friends with Brownie in the series. Especially in this novel version. I'm at the as I stated before, I've got the first chapter done, so with the second chapter, we're about to, kind of get to know Brownie and some of his friends there, which of course includes Dashtail. Sort of besties there, and so yeah, we're gonna be hearing about that. And let's see, I know in the comic there was a space mission that opened up where they was all in and everything, as I probably explained before. Had all Brownie, Dashtail, Emily, Anna, and Billy and Gerald and everybody in there. So yep. So like I say, there's definitely gonna be, like I say, more of that with the series. Oh, that's what with the whole Squirrel Avenger thing, which this is gonna be kind of my lead way to another video I'm gonna be doing after this one a little bit later. The superhero Squirrel Avenger is now in the Yumiko series. He's gonna be part of what's called the IT comic characters. IT stands for Imagine That. With superheroes, and I'm pretty sure their pictures were. Now I didn't put who they were, but their pictures are in a previous video that I posted up here on the channel. With that was, I think. Let me see, what did I call that video? Bring it up real quick. And don't worry, my sound is off. Yumiko's Story Ideal Pictures full video. Yep. So yeah, first there was a Yumiko Story Ideals promo with the pictures, of course, but this one, Story Ideal Pictures full video, which I added some more stuff to that, to the Story Ideals that would be coming up in the first of Yumiko. And one of them, of course, was the IT comic heroes there. So you had the IT comic heroes are actually Ultra Cat, and pretty much the IT comic book characters are pretty much like their own thing, obviously, but sort of a reference to like the DC comic characters, sort of like sort of like a reference to that, kind of like the way the Justice Friends are a reference to both, I guess, the Justice League and the Avengers, from Dexter's Laboratory. The Justice Friends! Starring Major Glory! Helen! So, yep, so with the IT comic heroes, Ultra Cat, pretty much like their version of Superman, but as a cat. And also, his powers will kind of be similar. Star Striker and him will kind of have similar powers there. Pretty much. Obviously, the kid looks up to the main hero, the main lead hero of this universe. And then you got Food Captain Food Bear. Food Captain Food Bear, pretty much like their universe version of the Adam West Batman and Robin. Do 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 do. And Thor the Thunder Rabbit, like their version of Wonder Woman. if you threw her in a blender with Thor, Bosco and the Amazons, and then of course the Squirrel Avenger. Now, and there's some other heroes. I'll be getting to them in the next video when I actually go into more detail about these IT comic heroes and also some history that they have before the book. So that's gonna be the next history video before we pull out any more of the before we pull out the next plush toy. We'll be talking about the IT comic heroes in the next history video. So Squirrel Avenger, like I said, you got Dashtail in Yumiko as Brownie's best friend. The Squirrel Avenger will actually be one of the IT comic book heroes. He will be sort of, because of how his backstory was written years ago. He's actually going to be an actual squirrel. That's what I'm thinking. But imagine an actual squirrel actually sort of making a reference to Kevin Conroy Batman. So it's almost like if you put Adam West Batman and Kevin Conroy Batman exist in the same universe. There's two different people. Well, that's quite a bit of an ideal there, old chum. Agreed. Well, I suppose that could be a good ideal. So, yeah, something similar to that there. Yeah, the all serious, the cool Batman, the one as they say in his he parodies. Yeah, your French fry is great because everybody likes you, so you're good. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty much like a reference to that. Of course, like I say, still their own thing. 'Cause I mean, we're talking about a squirrel, not a bat. So, but yeah, pretty much like that. So be like Kevin Conroy, Batman, similar to that. And of course, like I say, we all know where that's still gonna fit in. There's also another thing. Maybe I don't know if you guys have noticed this during the video. Notice like on one side he got a set of whiskers, but on the other side he doesn't. He was actually like this when I bought him out of the store, and I did not realize that until after I bought him. And as a matter of fact, he was the last out of the puppets that I kind of would think about buying there, because I have a certain taste in what I buy. He was the last one left. Matter of fact, I think it was the last squirrel puppet. So yeah, he was. So yeah, definitely got lucky getting this little guy. So yeah, not really much I could do about that being the last one there. So I thought about a little something with that. The whole missing missing the left side of his left whiskers there. My left. So what I thought about is that he probably would be like this in the series, and maybe they would explain that he probably lost his left whiskers, probably in some like maybe one of their firefighter missions, because he's a firefighter like Brownie. One of the firefighter missions, or maybe just maybe a previous mission in general. He may have lost it. I'll think about it there. I'm kind of getting an idea right now coming to Missa, but you'll hear about it soon. So yeah, as soon as I wrap this, as I'm about to wrap this up here, I'm finna go get back on writing book number 1. Get this start with the second chapter there. So that's pretty much all I got with Dashtail. Yeah, that's all I got with the little buddy. So like what y'all heard there and everything, and about Dashtail, and definitely like, share, subscribe, buy some available comic books, and also support us on Patreon. Oh wait, Eddie Murphy voice. And also support us on Patreon and everything, so we could definitely use that, even if it's just $1 a month. That's still very useful to what we do on the channel, and also outside the channel, some things that Gabe and Christina got going on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely do that. And you can also sponsor the channel as well. Just like Kings and my mother did there. Yeah, definitely do that. And be on the lookout for the next video coming up, which, like I say, next history video will of course be about the IT comic book heroes. And of course after that we'll be going into the other plush toys that we will be talking about and everything. Until then, y'all take care everybody, and we'll see y'all later. Take care everybody. And okay, now cut the camera off. No, cut the camera off. Cut the camera off. He ain't gonna cut the camera off. He ain't gonna.